Hello, 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 hello. Oh, turn off my halo. Hello, hi, welcome. It is May the 4th, and I didn't plan anything special. Um, what have I got? I've got some asparagus. It's asparagus season. Asparagus is coming in. I've got a sweet potato, and I've got fresh from the freezer, still slightly firm, a piece of salmon. We're making something pretty straightforward. Um, no, you were not imagining it. Last time I said, hey, bonus stream later in the week. Later in the week came along and turned out I worked more than I was expecting and did not have the time. Right, my calendar's right over there, so I was pointing at the calendar. You can't see that, so me walking over there and pointing meaningless to you. Clearly, hello, Bob. Of course, you're not first. Congratulations. Um, Three of your stores are out of asparagus today. That's sad. So my Woodman's has asparagus. They mostly have the little skinny ones you get in the winter that don't look very good. But there's just a couple bundles of the big thick ones starting to show up. So it's just at the bare front edge of asparagus season, as far as I can tell. You're farther south, so you're probably already coming in a little bit more. Um, I also need to tell you guys about next week. I will not be here next Monday. I am leaving. I am leaving. Well, it was going to be Wednesday. Now I think it's going to be extremely early Thursday. But I'm leaving this week, and I will not be back until the same time the following week. A full week away. A full 8 days away, in fact. Um, yeah. So, heads up. That's part of why I wanted to try to do that bonus stream. I didn't mention it at the time, but I wanted to do a bonus stream because I knew I was going to miss one. So, we're for sure going to miss one now. Um, I'm going to be out of town. I will, I guess, make attempts to post about food, but who is, we'll see. Who knows? So I will be gone for Mother's Day. Um, Not that I was planning anything spectacular, but it could have been nice. So yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan for next time. For not next time. So there's going to be a bit of a gap. I'll keep you posted. Let's shoot over to the whoop. Asparagus, sweet potato, salmon. He's still a little bit frozen in the middle, so I think we're gonna let that sit around and see what it do. Um, I don't really have any grand plans for this stuff. It's gonna be pretty simple, I think. I don't want to make a lot of extra leftovers or a lot of extra dishes today because I'm leaving in 2 days. So I'm going to make sure to clear up leftovers, clear up extras, get this all sort of worked its way down. To that end, a little knob of butter here. A little knob of butter. We'll use all of that today. There's some bacon. We're not going to be able to use all of the bacon. But bacon's pretty stable. We'll use some more of those bacon scraps. Oh yeah, the sauce, the hot sauce, it mellowed out. It's weird. It mellowed out as it was resting. I used some of it the next day, and it was even less. It was still spicy, but it was less intense. It really kind of chilled out, which is fascinating to me. I don't think I have encountered a hot sauce that naturally mellowed itself like that. I don't know what I put in it that would have caused that. Um, a lot of the rest of these things are either not of major concern. What is that? Honey butter. No. They're either not of major concern or there is too much of them to really use up. What are we doing? We're going to somehow incorporate this really delicious hot sauce, salmon, asparagus, sweet potato, butter. Butter goes really well with potato. Butter goes really well with asparagus. But we could do butter with potato and bacon with asparagus. What else have we got? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? There's cabbage. No urgency on the cabbage. There's some really sad looking bok choy. I gotta use that in the next couple days. Our pitch is not going to survive. Yeah, we'll just we'll just we'll just start winging. There was one piece of bacon here that was super fatty, and I pulled it out. It was basically just a log of bacon fat. If I can find another piece like that that's mostly fat, I think we can probably render it out. We could try making a bacon fat sauce for the asparagus. That might be fun. Start with this guy. Let's start with this guy. With this feller. Bookwoman, hello? We can't wrap the asparagus in bacon. Our bacon is not nice, long strips. I'm working through chunks. So, while that sounds delicious, I don't have the bacon for it. And I'd rather not thaw out another bacon before we finish this bacon. Because I've got one that's cut into rashers in the freezer, but it's in the freezer. A couple little bruisey spots. Nothing egregious. I'm gonna snip that end off. That one should be fine. Rather than make many trips to the compost today, we're just gonna get a scraps bowl. We can do it all in one motion. Also, because the compost is ready to be changed, it is very full and very stank at the moment. So I'd rather not crack it open repeatedly if I can help it. Okay, so how's everybody doing? Spring is springing all over the place around here. I'm going for a cube. Although today it's been extremely windy. And it's supposed to be chilly behind this wind storm, so spring may not be quite fully ready. Okay. Sweet potato, sweet potato. Okay, I'm going to preheat the oven. We're going to do a roast. Let's see. I was going to do butter with the sweet potatoes, but no, I could still do butter. Thunderstorms. We haven't had any thunderstorms. Just loads of wind. Olive oil. Okay. Salt and pepper afterwards. I don't want to burn the pepper. Salt and what? Salt and something that we're going to grind. Salt and rosemary. Is it even grinding the rosemary? No, they're just falling through. No, they're literally just falling through the teeth. Okay, well. That's what this guy's for. So what's everybody up to? How was the weekend? What's for dinner? Should I have given this a better title than food? These are the questions of our age. Um, okay, sweet potatoes are going to roast on the sheet. And we'll just kind of, watch them. Little cubes like that shouldn't take any more than like 45 minutes. Which is way longer than it takes to cook salmon and asparagus. But if I want to make a sauce, leftover spaghetti and sausage. Sounds good, sounds good. I had leftover pizza yesterday and today. Got one of them Aldi pizzas, which are a ridiculous deal. Okay, so whenever the oven is hot, those can go in. I'm going to have them set over yonder while we wait for that. Let's switch to bacon and see what kind of bacon pieces we can retrieve from the chunks here. I don't need the bag anymore. I'm looking for some of these really fatty pieces because I think I'm going to attempt to use primarily bacon fat as the base. Oh yeah, there's some big slabs, the fatty part, as the basis for a sauce. And that is one of the nice things you can get out of these chunks is some pieces that are just like almost entirely fat for that kind of cookery. Put the remainder in, reserve a little bit. Let's see. Piece of fat, piece of fat, piece of fat. That and that. Yeah, throw in a couple of those meaty bits. I've, of course, handled every one of these bacon pieces. That's not ideal. I have washed my hands, but not ideal to handle all of your bacon. You get stuff on it from your hands, and then you that's when bacon can go off. Get stuff on it. Oh, that's why I keep craning my neck. I'm supposed to have you guys right next to me so I can see you. There we are. So, yeah. So what I'm leaving town for, it coincides with Mother's Day, which is convenient because I'm going to see my mother. Um, but I am participating in a bird competition for charity and for the fun of birding. And said mother has Flamingo. Hello, Flamingo. You're first. Congratulations. You beat everybody else here. It's amazing. Hello, Flamingo. Said mother has convinced me to turn it into a longer trip and help out with some things. And it conveniently coincides with Mother's Day. So we can also do a in-person Mother's Day, which I haven't had for a while. It would be strange if I was going to see your mother, clearly. That would be a little weird. That would be a little, just a tad bit strange. Speaking of birds, yeah, flamingo. Okay. Bacon has been chopped up. We're gonna get a pan out for it. We're gonna build a sauce. So I'm gonna use this guy. He's a small, heavy bottom. I don't know if he's been a featured pan, but he's not anything like groundbreaking. He's just a smallish, heavy bottomed stainless. And what we're gonna do here is heat this on relatively gentle heat. Get that there. Heat that on relatively, so medium low. We want the fat to render. We don't necessarily want the whole thing to crisp a lot. We don't want to burn the proteins. But we want to render out the fat. Wash my hands, wash my hands, wash my hands. That's what I said, Flamingo. Both of those things. I said, hi, Studley. Except I said hi queerly, I think. And then I said, how's everyone? I am doing well. Plans for a bonus stream this past week fell through. And unfortunately, the bonus stream was supposed to be because I'm going to be missing next week. And I wanted to do a bonus. We'll have to work out how to do a bonus after. Okay, so that, I'm going to start rendering. We're going to need the flour tower. We're going to need some milk. Peanut butter cookies with the niece. Awesome. Where's my can of milk? Oh, the neighbors are mowing the lawn. Of course they are. I love how they wait for me to start streaming and then come in and mow the lawn. So thoughtful of them. Quarter cup of powder to 1 cup of It's oddly consistently that they come in on a Monday. The thing is, they've got a lawn service, which means they get their lawn mowed way more often than it actually needs. Of course, the lawn service wants to do it on a schedule, not as needed. They've already mowed their lawn. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time their lawn has been mowed. The spring so far, I have yet to mow my lawn once. It's getting a little bit shaggy. We're going to have to do it. I don't think I'm going to make it through May because I didn't really prep it ahead of time. But yeah, they mow theirs frequently. Let's see. I measured out a cup of water and into it a quarter cup of milk powder, which we will then turn into a cup of milk. Now I know this stuff does not make as nice and smooth of a sauce. It never does as proper milk, but this is what we're doing. That's a nice pan. I like that pan. You've moved twice. You should have done. You've mowed twice. See, I don't know where you are. For us, uh, 2 weeks ago, the lawn was brown. Um, like the fact that the neighbors have mowed already when the lawn was just brown. Um, like, sure. But yeah, that's I I prefer to mow as little as possible. I let the lawn get real shaggy. But then it also the balancing act of don't gum up the lawnmower by letting it go too long. Okay, okay. I'm not sure what we're okaying. The oven's hot. That's what we're okaying. We had an old neighbor, my previous, not even the previous neighbor, the one before that. They wanted to use our side of the lawn where it connects uh, to play games, to play football with the kids, because their side of the lawn has trees in it, um, and they would get on us. They would call the city on us every time the lawn got slightly too long for them, which boy, guys, I was I was I was real tempted to put up a fence so that they just a just a little like not a full fence, but like just a little bit of a barrier. Like, sure, I'll mow the lawn. Stay off our property. I don't want to have fights with the neighbors, but if the neighbors are going to pick fights like that, they're going to lose. We're going to throw hands. The current neighbors do not do that and are nice people, as far as I'm aware. All my interactions with them have been nice people. Uh, okay, we're I guess I'm envisioning that this turns into like a white bacon gravy. That's sort of where my head goes with this. So like a sausage gravy, but with bacon and the bacon fat in place of the butter that you normally would start the sausage gravy with. I don't know if that's going to work. It should, but I guess I'm not entirely sure. While those are going, while that's going, because pretty much right now we're just rendering down the bacon quite a lot. Oop. Let's look at the asparagus. Gonna take the ones with the longest white parts at the bottoms. So we're gonna cut it to length. What looks like? Asparagus? Yeah, this is what asparagus looks like. Ah. Some of these, like that, is all knobbly. That was broken off way too low. That one probably could have eaten down most of that. Most of the rest of them here have a much lower tail. Yes, your store lacks asparagus. When you're here, you're asparagus. Okay, the bacon is crisping and looking quite rendered in its juices. We are going to add to that some flour. But yeah, most of the asparagus at the store was really skinny still. That skinny stuff that you see in the winter that comes out of that's greenhouse asparagus. Or I guess I always thought it was greenhouse asparagus. It might be like import from a place that's warm so that they can grow it. I think I got quite a bit more fat than flour, actually. We may have rendered slightly too much bacon. Well, the bacon is done to the point where I can't let it go any further. Okay. Now we need that to thicken. We can add some things to it. Let's add fun things to it. Well, let's add, honestly, safe bets to it, but delicious safe bets. That's not the nutmeg. We're adding nutmeg. I was going to say, surprise, nutmeg, but I reached in for the nutmeg and I grabbed something else, and then I said, that's not nutmeg, which gave away the surprise. Here, hold on to my kombu for a second while I rummage around for nutmeg. Nutmeg. I mean, the price is still high. The price was around $5 for this bundle, so the price is still a little up, but they're the nice thick ones. So I wasn't massively thrilled that the price was still up. We're going to use up the tail of this one nutmeg. some black pep, and again whisk vigorously. Definitely thickened. It's actually formed a pretty smooth sauce. I've had bad luck in the past with the powdered milk. But we are, if you can see, we are nappe on our sauce, and it tastes it tastes like it needs some salt, some more pepper, and then I think a lid to keep it from drying out, because I made it at the beginning of this whole process. Perfect. Perfect. The winter Peru and Mexico, says Google. Well, if it's coming from Peru and Mexico, then tariffs, don't you know? Don't you know? Okay. That guy. And I guess the butter's going here because that's the way life worked out today. This is my very nice Wagner cast iron that I found at Savers for like $8 or something. It's a thing. Butter. But the heat's not on over there yet. We're back over here still. That's our asparagus. This guy has in fact finished thawing. Let's get him out of there. He developed a slight kink when the vacuum sealer got a hold of him. And are we scaled? Partially. Oh, yeah, there's still some. Okay. Part of this has been descaled up here. There's a couple of scales left, but not really a ton. But then on this end, it's pretty much not been descaled at all. It's just all scales. So let's get those off. It's a little fussy to descale an already sectioned fillet like that, but what are you gonna do? Fish have scales, and you got to eat fish. So you either eat the scales or you peel them off. There's just no third option. Okay, that wasn't too bad. And this side is already, yeah, that side's been well scaled. It's just on this tail. Okay. I'm going to give you a brief rinse. Get rid of any of that loose, because it's been frozen now. So some of the proteins will have denatured slightly. If you've ever seen that sort of white stuff that comes out of previously frozen meats when you cook them, that's proteins that have broken down and sort of loosened up, and they dissolve in the meat's own juices. And then when they hit the hot pan, they solidify and turn white. So that's what that white stuff is. We will probably see some of that coming off of this salmon as well. But by rinsing it, we're going to rinse away some of that, and then I'm going to pat it dry with a paper towel as well. It's actually, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it's the ice crystals shredding cells at the cellular level. Like as the ice crystals crystallize, they tear up the cells, and then all the cell stuff just falls out. It's why, whenever possible, you want flash frozen fish instead of regular frozen fish, which is how they do it commercially. Not because it makes for better fish, but because it is faster. But it means that the ice crystals are super duper small. Okay. Pan on. Salt on. Yes, of course. Doesn't sound as good. Molecular cannibalism. That's what we'll call it. Food. That's what we'll call it. We don't need to get this ripping hot like we do for a steak. We actually want a little bit of sticking for this. I would like the skin to stick just a little bit right when it starts, so that it doesn't blow up, because we're going to start it on the skin side, which is how you're supposed to do it. But if you're doing it in a nonstick, it will arch up like a bridge, get off the pan, which is why I usually start fish on the flesh side, because then it doesn't form the bridge. Over yonder, our buttered pan is bubbling, so we will just slap that guy in there. He's not a screaming sizzle, but a little sizzle right away. We'll salt the top. And he is actually arching right away, so yep, he's my my cast iron here is too well seasoned. This again, this is one of my nicest ones, and it's really nice for these small pieces like this. I should do a tour. I should do a tour of all my my bits and bobs and odds and ends and stuff. Speaking of bits and bobs and odds and ends, while that's frying over there, hey, I got something. Hey, I got something. Hey, I got something. Yep, it's definitely a thing that I should not have purchased. It's definitely this. I got a thing. The electric multi-fry magnificent frying machine. It was not $11. It was 25% off of $11. So it was $8 or 8 and some change. Well, that fish is getting started. I have looked at it. I have opened it up. It's the babiest little fryer. It's got one of these things. It looks like it's probably intended to be more of a fondue pot than a fryer, but it claims, now, it did not come with the instruction book, but it claims to deep fry, slow cook, fondue, stew, and even popcorn. And the picture has this tiny little basket just heaped with a mountain of French fries that there is no way in hell you would actually be able to fry in this thing. I could see this frying like 2 chicken tenders, maybe. It has not been cleaned yet. I have only just gotten it home. It has the full fondue fork set, though. So at the very least, I got a nice fondue fork set with colored nubbins. And they're sharp. They're sharp. So, don't know what we're going to do with this guy as of yet. I have looked at many a old weird fryer at thrift stores and never gone for one. This one is the oldest and most specifically odd one I've ever seen. So, of course, it's the one that I went for. Hold on, I gotta flip my fish. Used and recommended by Chef Tell. Have you ever seen a man more of the times? Yeah, the absolute mountain of fries that there is no way you made in this tiny pot. I need to hunt around for instructions. It has no barcodes. It predates barcodes. Which is quite telling. So it's something. I don't know what we're gonna do with it yet, but it's something. The top of our salmon, we didn't do anything special with this salmon. 1970s Nordic Ware multi-fry cook, electric fryer and cooker. That sounds about right. I haven't really done the in-depth research on it yet. It has been used. It's not just in the box, but it needs to be like properly cleaned because there was the residues in the pot part. It claimed to be some kind of nonstick, which I don't know what that necessarily entails in that era. I'm going to do the sides of this thing the way you never do with a salmon, because I think they will look nice. Yeah, that's the thing. The meat toaster, man, I really wanted that meat toaster to not be a problem, but it is such a fire hazard. It is such a potential problem. Not because the actual thing is a problem. The actual thing is fine. It's just the cord. And I'm sure it's just the cord is so old and corroded. It had no... The meat toaster, and actually this thing as well, they do not have a ground on the plug. They are just a two-prong, which is a little concerning for something that draws that much power. And that's probably part of why the meat toaster... Ugh. I need expert help for the meat toaster, because I would like... This is why you don't do the sides of salmon. I would like to use it, and I think the way to use it is to get the cord replaced, but I need an expert to get the cord replaced, because I pulled it open to see what I could see, and it's more complicated than just replacing it with a new cord. How's our potatoes coming? We should probably toss those around. We're going to get you out of there, put you on a plate. To rest and keep warm for a moment. Yeah, the probe plug might be the issue as well. Again, if it doesn't work, I'm out $8, which isn't the end of the world. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it released much better that time. Okay, we're gonna take the heat off. We're gonna take the heat off. We're gonna pull you onto a plate and put a cloche on you to keep you warm while we do the next bit, which is shit. Well, I guess we're using all of the remaining butter. Wasn't the intention, but I dropped it and then it burned me. So, all of the remaining butter. for the asparagus. There's one on eBay for 40 bucks, but has it actually sold for 40 bucks? And also, does it work? Thing about eBay is always, of course, you can ask any price you want for it. Ow. That hot butter was too hot for my tender little fingies. Oh, no, turn. Okay, we don't want to overdo the asparagus either. Asparagus gets overdone very easily. Okay. I paid 8 and some change. Oh. These guys also need turning. Oh, they're already very soft. I think we're gonna just loosen them up with a spatula and those are probably already ready in terms of softness. Let's hit them with a little bit of pepper. Toss them back in just to see if the edges caramelize up a little bit. Definitely got some kind of tiny, oh, yeah. Got some tiny oil burns. Don't know if you can see it. One little itty bitty spot right there. One little bitty spot right there. From the spatter from when I dropped the butter in that pan right there. Asparaguses are probably ready. They're blistering, they're fragrant. They're blistering and fragrant. Let's take them off. Boy, oh, we're only at an hour. We're already thinking about plating. We're already thinking about plating at an hour. Oh, I knew this was gonna be a short one. Such is the curse of using stuff up and cooking basic. I've got Misha's favorite plate. Right there, because I dripped some butter there. Now, you know, the chefy thing to do, the pretentious chefy thing to do, put those guys right in the middle. And put the fish on top of them. Once again, cloche that. Back over yonder. Let's see what our sauce turned into while it was resting. You know what? It thickened up. It looks a lot more like sausage gravy consistency. Oh, yeah. Thick, extremely bacony. Oh my God. Salt really woke that flavors up. And nutmeggy. I'm going to ruin the sauce now by adding our brown butter and fish drippings, which may or may not ruin the sauce. Miraculously, it did not split my sauce. I'm amazed. I'm frankly amazed. I'm terrible at cream sauces. You've seen me make these bad sauces. Now, it's probably just actually a smidge thick. I don't want it to look lumpy on the plate, so we gotta serve it while it's piping warm, so that it looks nice on the plate. So that it looks nice on the plate. We didn't get the hot sauce in there at all. Oh well. Oh well. Let's set that back there. Lid on. Sweet potatoes out. Do is I'm gonna make two little piles of our sweet potatoes on either side. We're gonna try to be artsy fartsy with our plating. Ow! Ow! Ouch! Ouch! Oh! Dang! Well, yeah, that pan is 400 degrees, and the pot holder can only hold it back. For so long. Woo! That was toasty on my little fingies. Talking a lot about my fingers today and referring to them as little fingies. Uh, yeah, that's got an artsy nonsense, chefy nonsense to it. Behold my chefy nonsense. And then our cream sauce, while still warm, sort of right across the other diagonal. Really get the bacon bits. Fresh pep, and you know, if we're doing this the whole way, oh, I will have more of the cream sauce, and I'll finish the potato. But a little, a little dumb chive decoration on the top. Let's take a picture of this. We haven't done a really artsy plate in a minute. This one's a. Okay. Because then I can say on a bed of blistered asparagus. And that's our dinner. And that's our service. I don't think we're going to be blowing any minds or breaking any grounds today, but it sure looks good. They're coming for me. I was too artsy and too fartsy, I guess. Let's. Lovelily. I don't even know where we want to start with this one. Potato. Cream gravy. That worked great. So they didn't get any color on them, really, but the potatoes are like mashed potato soft inside, but they have actually gotten a crisp, almost, because they're sweet potatoes, so it's the sugars for sure, but a sort of candy crisp coating on the outside, and the bacon sauce just, man, it just straight up tastes like liquid bacon. If you like bacon, you will like this. Wow. I'm surprised at how much it just straight up tastes like liquefied bacon. Ooh, and our salmon skin got nice and crisp as well. Let's have that with a little bit of the asparagus. Mmm, mmm, mmm. Oh, and it's real good with the fish, because salmon's a pretty assertively flavored fish. So it's not being drowned out by this bacon. And asparagus also has a fairly assertive flavor, so it's not disappearing underneath this. This stuff is strong enough. This stuff is strongly flavored enough that if you put it on things that had a more delicate flavor, you would just taste this. That's probably its greatest hindrance, is that it can only be used on things that can stand up to quite a strong sauce. I need more of it, actually. It goes extremely well with the potatoes, which are sweet. Honestly, I think I smothered the asparagus a little bit too much with it. It's good with the asparagus, but I would like a little bit of a lighter touch. Whereas the potatoes, I think the asparagus just a little swipe through, perfect. The potatoes, because they're much starchier, you want a bigger scoop of it with some of the bits. Mm. Mm. Our fish is, let me, that was the skinny end, so that was quite well done on that end. Let's break right into the thick part. Ooh, it flaked very nicely. Oh, and right in there, the skin is not crispy, so a little bit of flabby skin, but a really nice sort of flake right in the middle there. And it's nice and tender. Oh, the salmon and the bacon sauce are really good together. They're so complementary. It is savory on savory, but it's like two really good savories on top of each other. It's rich. That was good. That was good. Bacon sauce. Very easy. You do need quite a fatty bit of bacon. Also, I made a bechamel with this, because this was the milk. I'm surprised that it held together. I've tried cream sauces before, or bechamel-based sauces before using that stuff, and I felt like it had a much harder time forming a sauce. It worked great this time. Maybe bacon fat is better at doing that with the powdered milk than butter fat is. Or maybe I'm just getting better at sauces. That could also be a thing. You want to get better at cooking. You want to really impress people with cooking. Learn how to do sauces. Sauces are a really effective way to level up the perceived quality of your cooking. I think my one big critique of this plate is just a smidge too much salt overall. I think I should have gone lighter on the salt on the vegetables, so that the sauce could take up that salty role a little bit more. I remembered to buy gochujang from the other day, but I don't have a place to put it. It keeps getting moved. That was good. That was a good one. That was a good one. This is what I want. So I've got a plate of food over here ready to go. And what do I want to do? I keep wandering over here to grab one of these cubes and dunk it in the sauce. That's what I want to do with this stuff. That'd be good on fries, like crispy, normal potato fries. That'd be good on. That'd be good on a lot of things. That'd be good on a lot of things. It's a savory. It's a savory cream sauce, but it wants to go on savory things. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap us a little bit early today. Give myself extra time to clean up because I would like to have everything cleaned up, ready, buttoned up, straight, ready to go. Because I'm gonna head out the door. I just touched the microphone. I hope I didn't deafen everyone with that. Yeah, I'm surprised how well the bacon sauce came out. We're gonna put more of it on the plate. That's ultimately what I want is more of it on the plate. Yeah. So let's oops. Unless you want food. Yep, that's what I made. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't squeeze in a bonus stream late next week, so that we don't have to wait a full 2 cycle for it. We might be able to do that, but otherwise, yes, I will definitely be out. I will definitely not be able to do a bonus this week at all, and I will be gone next Monday. Getting back in likely late Wednesday. Stream dinner from the Cracker Barrel. I intend to cook for my mom for at least around Mother's Day. So whatever I end up making, I'll take a picture of that. Yeah, I'm gonna. We made new dishes, and I had not yet quite dealt with the existing dishes. There's a phalanx of glasses here because my drying area filled up before I got to the cups, and now new dishes are forming in the sink as well. So I do want to definitely catch up on dishware, because you know what I hate doing is coming in after a time gone and there being something waiting for me, something growing. Awesome. Definitely got to be on top of that since we're going to be out for a hot minute here. Yeah. So we're going to wrap up a little bit early. Let's see who's on. 6:30. 6:30. We're barely into it. None of my regulars are even going to have started today. That's not true. Chef is on. With the May the 4th something. Looks like mushrooms. Where you guys want to go? No, Bob votes for chef. For room and board. Bunch of restreams of things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Start. Oh, we're giving the dog treats. We'll get raid messages ready. Grab whichever you prefer. Yeah. So I have no plans for what our next stream is because by the time we get there, my plans will have been forgotten. So who knows? Who knows? I can tell you that I should grab something from the freezer. Uh, maybe we'll come back and do a long stream, and I'll do a whole chicken, like a whole chicken. That could be a thing. Um, yeah. So thanks for showing up today. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for sticking with me while I made food. Uh, gonna eat this before it cools off, because boy, that cream sauce is gonna be miserable when it turns into cream pudding. And singular whole chicken. We have two. We could do two. Um, yeah. For 4 seconds. Bye. Bye.